What's up, guys? Welcome to the Parker County Beef Company podcast. First episode of our new podcast. My name is Bryson. I am one of the fourth generations here at the Parker County Beef Company, and I'm going to let my co-host introduce himself. Co-host. You're the co-host.
Fourth generation here, yada yada. My dogs have that's scared of all this stuff, so.
Yeah, the dog is scared. The dog doesn't know what to think of the podcast setup
Heather,
here.
come here. Come here, Heather.
Tell the people who you are. Tell them your name.
I'm Braxton. Probably seen the first video. If you haven't, it's on TikTok.
You've probably seen Braxton on TikTok as well.
Heather.
Braxton is also fourth generation here at the Parker County Beef Company. So this is our attempt at launching a podcast here. It does not have a name yet. It's just going to be called the Parker County Beef Company
We'll work on
podcast until we come up with something better. So, welcome. Glad you guys are here. Since this is our first episode, I was going to give you guys a little bit of history about who we are and what we do here. You can see if you're watching the video version of this, if you're on any of the social media platforms, that we're here in our ranch office. So our great-grandfather started ranching this land that we're sitting on right now over 100 years ago. And since then, our grandfather now lives here. He's been ranching this land. And then both of our dads are twins. And they've been ranching here since probably the 90s, late 80s, early 90s. And then you have Braxton and I. So we are we're fourth generation cattle ranchers, but we are first generation social media people, podcasters, I guess now you can say. Is that right? This is our first time doing a podcast. So we're still figuring that out. We have learned on social media that we're much better at raising cows than we are at doing any of the social media stuff. So we're still figuring it out. But
Hey, if you don't want to see me drive, stay tuned. Stay tuned.
I don't know about all that. I don't know if that's a segment on the podcast or not. But Braxton, we're gonna do a little. Braxton's our color commentator here on all of our stuff. So we'll see how this goes. So we have a little bit of a script here, but we're kind of just going to talk. We want these podcast episodes to be about 20 to 30 minutes, nothing crazy. Eventually, what was that?
I don't do lines. I just don't.
Yeah, he doesn't do lines. No scripts. Braxton is everything off the cuff. So our goal with this podcast is not only to tell people what we do here on our ranch, tell about our family, and tell about our beef company, but eventually, I think it'd be cool, Braxton, to have maybe some guests that we get to interview, people who work with cows or people that do beef, different stuff like that. I've got a couple people in mind that I think would be really cool for you and I to get to talk to, but also people on the internet. I think it'd be cool for them to get to hear some of the insights from, I guess, people that are not you and I. So, Braxton, did I miss anything in telling people what we do here? I guess I did miss the fact that we are a beef company now, right? So I said they've been raising cows forever, but this was the year that we decided to launch our I originally started calling it our direct-to-consumer beef company, but we've kind of changed that to now our direct-to-community beef company, where we sell our beef directly from our ranch here to people all over, right? We're going to sell here locally, and then we realized that as we start putting our stuff on the internet, we realized how.
See, this is the beef.
There you go. He's holding up a map of where all we're sending our beef. I think, Braxton, that'd be a good video of. You can see it if you're watching the video version. But I think it'd be a cool video for us to do coloring in a map every time we get an order from a different state, so that people see where all the beef's going. So we started the beef company, and we started making videos online, and those videos gained quite a bit of traction. We made videos for about a month until nothing happened. And then all of a sudden, especially on TikTok, we got a lot of traction and a lot of people found us. I don't know, we're probably north of 30,000 followers now across everything, which is probably 35,000 followers if you include all the different places, which is really cool. So the podcast is the next evolution of that. We wanted some longer form content where we could actually talk and not just make, 30-second videos. Braxton, did I miss anything talking about how we got to today? You got anything you want to add?
Yes.
Okay, what do you want to add?
So, you know that TikTok where we give up the good thing ain't worth 15 cents right now.
Yeah, what Braxton's
Put it that
referring to is.
So that's why we're using that one's the baling tractor, but we have to use the new tractor because the baling tractor is the one with the issues.
Okay, so that's a good point, right? What Braxton, we're going to lead that into our segment here. We're talking about what's going on around here this week. So I figured every week we just kind of tell people what's going on. And what Braxton's talking about is we currently have our primary hay baling tractor out of service, isn't it?
Pretty much,
Yeah. And unfortunately, it's the one with good air conditioning. So everybody's kind of feeling the repercussions of that. But we did get it repurposed. We got the other one hooked up so that we are able to bale hay, right? We got a lot of hay cutting on the ground right now that we are in the process of getting baled. It is currently June 22nd, 2023, and we are just on our first cutting here. So we're getting after it, but yeah, that kind of slowed us down a little bit, didn't it?
Yeah.
What else happened around here? It's hot.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
It's hot and it's humid, but it's humid because we got rain. So we are very thankful we got rain. One of the things I was going to talk about, there's a lot of places around the country that didn't get any rain, Braxton. So we are lucky in that regard. What else is going on around here?
Just got text.
Yeah, probably heard my text. Still battling some technological difficulties here, but we're figuring it out, guys. Discuss a recent news article, Braxton.
We just did that. We literally just did that.
We just did that? What did we talk about?
The tractor issue.
No, I'm talking about a news article like in the news world.
I know some past, but no.
Okay. What do you think? Do you think cows are expensive right now or cheap right now?
Well, depends. Just depends.
Depends. Cows are still pretty expensive,
True.
and they're getting more expensive. Which, if you're looking at the reports and things like that, that's why a lot of the beef in the grocery stores continues to get more and more and more expensive. So, just let it go. It's all good.
I'll watch on the TikTok.
Oh, we got 6 people watching us live. We're live streaming this podcast. We're video recording, so you'll be able to see the video.
So you can watch the.
You can watch the video. You can
online.
listen to the podcast. It'll be on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. It'll be everywhere you can find a podcast. But we're also live streaming our recording here on TikTok. So if you're not following us on social media, you can find us on. It's Parker County Beef Company. We're on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. That's all that I can think of right now. Anywhere there's a social media, we're on there. Yeah, TikTok. Let's see. So Braxton, you've been around our cows forever, right? Ever since you were a little kid?
Sure, yeah.
That's true. So what do you think about the beef? What do you think about us switching from, raising cows and selling them to raising beef and selling it?
Not a surprise.
Not a surprise?
No.
You think it's cool?
You're the one who comes up with all these businesses. I'm just used to it right now. So.
Okay. But it's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it cool to see that the beef that we have here on our ranch and our different places is going to be going straight to, straight to people's plates? Okay. What else do we have here? We want to talk about our beef company. So an introduction to the beef company, right? We originally started this, as I said, I think in the introduction, that our goal was to simply sell here locally in our community. And the first way we started doing that is we were selling quarters, halves, and wholes, freezer beef. Do you know what a quarter, a half, or a whole is?
In pound, like weight or what?
Like what it is.
I don't think.
You want to talk through it?
Sure.
Right. So when you look at all of the meat that comes from an animal, right? If you took every pound of beef that comes off of an animal, that's a whole beef, right? So that is all of the steaks,
All of everything.
all of the roasts, all the ground beef, the brisket, right? The ribs, everything. Okay? So that's all the beef, right? But when they process that animal and they split it, there's 2 halves, right? They have a left half and a right half. Make sense? So when somebody talks about half of beef, they're essentially talking about half
Of the cow.
Half of the cow. Right? So that would be exactly half of all of the cuts of meat that come off of a cow. Or in our case, a steer. Right? Right. So then when we talk about quarters.
So that's half
half of a half. Good job. There's two ways that you can do quarters. Do you know why it might be different if you got the front half of a half versus the back half of a half?
Because the back has the legs.
Okay.
Like that, and the front has the head.
Right. So there's different cuts come from different parts of the animal. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So somebody who orders the front quarter may get the brisket, right? Because the brisket is located in the front quarter. And somebody in the back may get, the rump roast, because you're not going to get that out of the front quarter. So what we do, Braxton, on our quarters is rather than have to find, because people may want some from the front, some from the back. So what we do here is we're doing what's called a true mixed quarter or a blended quarter.
Makes sense.
Right? So what we do is we get everything kind of standardized, and then we just have it like we take that half and we get the half done as normal, and then we just divide everything in half. So half of these steaks, half of these steaks, half of this ground beef, half of that, right? Half the roasts. So we do a true mixed quarter here, just trying to make it easy, trying to make it simple on people. That makes sense? So that was our original goal, was to sell beef locally here in our community, quarters, halves, and wholes. And it was
worldwide.
Yeah, and then worldwide, right? So as our videos gain traction, we got request after request after request for us to ship it. So that's that's the journey we've been down, is figuring out how to ship our beef all over the country. And I think right now, Braxton, we have pre-orders for right at 24 states. So this is currently middle of June. Our first processing. Only in America. And which 2 states can we not ship to?
Hawaii or Alaska.
Boom. 48 out of 50 is pretty good.
It has to be in
America. 48 out of 50 states. We can't ship to Alaska. We can't ship to Hawaii. It's just logistically not feasible for us here on the ranch.
It can only go on the road, not on air.
Pretty much. So we got those requests. We figured that out. So now we're here in the middle of June. We're taking pre-orders for August, 1st of August. We're going to start shipping those orders out, and then we think we'll be able to, take an order. Once we get through that, we'll be able to take an order and then ship it out the next week, right? So we're going to ship
guys, we can't just take a cow and go process it.
Right?
We can't just do that.
It takes what?
It takes time.
It takes time. That's what people have to remember is this is not a fast process, right?
Yeah, you can't just go out in the field, grab a cow.
You can't just make good beef, right? It takes time.
It takes time.
It takes time. So good point, Braxton. So we're going to be shipping about 24 states here in August, and then we'll have it set up where you place an order on Monday, or as long as you place an order before Sunday night, it's going to ship out the next Monday. So we're only going to ship one day a week on Mondays, but we'll be shipping beef everywhere. We'll be shipping it live, and hopefully we'll be able to get our inventory to a place where if you wanted to order a quarter or a half or a whole, we could hopefully fulfill that order from our freezers. So I got to take you. We got a really cool project. I think we're going to set up a freezer trailer. You know the old brown cattle trailer?
That old one that opened chains?
Yeah, I think that's going to become our beef delivery trailer.
Okay.
No, we're going to trick it out.
So, I know we don't have any beef stuff, so how do we send the beef to the people?
Well, I have 11 steers that I'm taking in 2 weeks to get them processed. So we're going to have about...
No, but, how do you get it to the people?
So, the boxes and stuff we've been working on at the office? We're going to take it from the processor to the office. Then we're going to ship from the office.
Are we shipping it or FedEx, stuff like that?
So we're going to ship, and that's a good point. So a lot of people, we're able to do local pickups. There's a lot of people here close who are going to drive to us. They can pick on the website whether they want to come pick it up from us or we can ship it to them. When we ship it, we're shipping FedEx home delivery, where we put it in a box just like you would, rather than dropping it off at the post office. We drop it off with FedEx, and they ship it to people all over the country. So that map you held up was FedEx's shipping map.
Makes sense.
Make sense? Let's see.
But we cannot ship to Alaska or Hawaii.
Listen, everybody listen to Braxton. That's right.
So stop asking those questions.
You've been cut off. You've been cut off. We've got the freezer trailer.
Yeah.
Shipping the beef. We think we'll have about 4,000 pounds of beef.
About that cattle trailer.
About the cattle trailer, yeah.
One time we went up there, I saw this tire in there with some, how do you put it, clothes in the trailer?
Some clothes in there?
Yeah.
I think we got it all cleaned out now.
Oh.
You and I, we're going to get it, and we're going to clean it out, and we're going to...
It needs a new paint job. We're doing a new paint job.
How about we leave the paint job and we put a new sign on it? We call it like the Beef Mobile. Yeah. Throw that on there. So that's cool. But one of the things, I made a video this week, Braxton, a lot of people thought it would be cool.
So,
like,
so for the trailer, it's not have to be refrigerated. They're going to fix it like that.
We're going to take our freezers and put them in there and plug them in. We'll run a generator. So that it always stays frozen.
Are you shut the door? Are you build windows?
Not closing it in. No, we'll leave it open, and the freezers will just sit in there. It's got a new floor in it.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it'll be cool. It'll look cool too, and that goes with it. So I made a video this week, Braxton, and I told people,
who's the truck driver?
Hey, let me tell you about my video. So I made a video this week. How cool would it be for like somebody who orders here close for you and I to go get the order and like pack it up? And then show up at their house, like with the trailer full of beef, and like give it to them in person, and make a video doing it.
Makes sense.
That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I just had that.
Who's gonna be the beef driver? I'm the beef driver, I guess.
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding you. I'll say, what else was on our thing here, Brax? I think we're gonna modify this next week.
Okay, but what's the truck? We need a truck for a beef mobile, not the one F-150.
Well, I'll have to use my truck probably if I'm gonna be the one delivering it.
Well, we need like some logo on it.
Oh, we need a logo. Maybe I get one of those magnets and put it on the side, like the bull. Put our little logo.
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe that would work.
We need to paint it like the logo on the trailer or whatever.
I don't know. We'll just get a cool looking sign. Put it over it. It looks. I mean, it's authentic. It's a real cattle trailer. That's as real as it gets on Deliver the Beef.
Well, you can make a magnet with that sign.
Yeah.
Under the magnet it says beef mobile.
It says good beef inside.
No, beef mobile.
Maybe we get both.
On your truck, but for magnet for truck.
Maybe I get to design a set of magnets and you get to design a set of magnets. We'll use them both.
Fine, I decide. I get the trailer. You get your truck.
Okay. What else we got going on? Anything else you think the people need to know about us and what we do?
No. Take some questions.
Take some questions. I wish I had my email. My email is full, so that's what we'll do next week for the podcast. Is I'll print off all my email questions and all my TikTok questions, and we'll go from there. That makes sense. One of the questions we get a lot is how long do we age our beef? You know what that means?
No.
Okay, so after the animal's processed.
Oh, like how long do you keep the cows until you?
Kind of, right? So after the animal's processed at the processor, right, they take it and they put it in a cooler, like a big walk-in refrigerator.
Oh, yeah, and how long you keep it in there.
How long you keep it in there, right? And the traditional sense is what's called dry aging, right? So they just hook it and it just hangs in there, like hanging from this rail on the ceiling. And while you're doing that, it's getting everything out of the beef that you don't want in there, right? It's draining it. But it's releasing enzymes that are breaking down that beef, right? So when you beef is just a muscle, right? Makes sense? Like this right here. But when you first process it, that muscle's still kind of tough. So over time, when it's in that cooler, it softens it. It makes it more tender, right? So that's why you'll hear people talk about how long is your beef hang, how long is it aged, and so 14 days, 21 days, it used to be forever. But with COVID, all of the processors got so busy, Braxton, that they didn't have enough space to hang them as long as they were. So when it's doing that, it's breaking down all of those muscle fibers and it's making that beef more tender. That's called dry aging. Okay. Well, the new processor that we use is they do what's called wet aging, right? So rather than let it just hang for 21 days, 14 days, they take it and they go ahead and kind of cut it up, and then they seal it, vacuum seal it, and put it in a cooler where it makes it a lot more tender, a lot more flavorful, and you're retaining a lot of those juices, and you don't have any trimming loss. So that's cool. Okay, what else? Here, I'm going to introduce an idea for you, and I'm going to throw this out there for the people on the internet to digest and give me the thoughts, because I got the tentative green light on this morning. So now you and I got to figure out how to do it. I was told it's our project. So are you going to help me out on it?
Yeah, I'm good.
People on the internet, obviously, we raise and we sell good beef. And I get question after question after question about what other animal? What other animal you think people want us to raise and sell? Hogs, pigs, right?
But hey, we were having a talk this one time. If you want the hogs, you can have them at your house.
We've already got a place. You and I are going to look at the hogs today. We're going to look at the place for them. It's not at your house. It's not at my house.
We're not having them at my house.
So, this is us telling the internet that Braxton and I are going to do a little work on some pasture-raised pork for you guys. So hopefully we can get pork as an offering that you guys can add. We can add to our beef boxes, so we can maybe do boxes that are both pork and beef. But we could also do just like pork chops and pulled pork, all the stuff that people want. We have it all in one spot. And then maybe, Braxton, if we can get Shane in here, what else could we have?
No.
What do we need?
Honey.
We need honey, right? Parker County Beef Company should be one of the largest honey producers here in the county. And how much honey do we have? Zero honey. So we can't figure out.
It's been 2 years.
It's been 2 years. We need answers on the honey of what's going on here.
Yeah, Shane.
Shane,
We need answers.
if you're hearing the podcast live, Shane, we need answers. So hopefully the beef company is adding on some other offerings for you guys. The pasture-raised pork is going to be really cool for us. So Braxton and I are going to do some work on that today. You will see videos of that on social media. Oh, let's see, Braxton. Anything else you want to leave the people with here? We're about 20, 25 minutes, which is good. We learned a lot about what we need to do for next time, right? I need some more stuff printed off to go through. So you guys, thank you for joining us. Braxton, you got anything to add here?
No, not that I can see.
Not that he can see. So thanks for joining us, guys. We're going to try to do this maybe weekly. We'll do this once a week. Yeah, once a week. Braxton, it's nap time for Braxton.
No, I ain't.
So he's signing off here. But this has been the inaugural episode of the Parker County.
Hey, hold up.
Here it is.
Let me go. Wait. What? Get up.
The farm dog.
Get out.
The farm dog does not want to be on the podcast, I don't
He
think.
really doesn't. See? Look at the camera. Look at the camera. You can see her head.
You can see Heather's head. Heather does not want to be on the podcast. All that we have set up here is freaking her out. So
yeah.
But
see, she's the little farm dog around.
She's the little farm dog around here. So this has been the initial episode of the Parker County Beef Company podcast. We hope to see you guys again next week. Make sure you're following us everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere that social media exists, we are there. We appreciate you guys listening. Make sure you subscribe to this podcast. Send it to your friends if you think they would like it. If you're looking for,
we're gonna try to get the farm dog in some more videos.
We'll try to get the farm dog in some videos. Make sure you guys subscribe to this podcast. Send it to your friends. If you're looking for really great beef, we're local here. We're located in Springtown, Texas. We're about 30 minutes west of Fort Worth, Texas. We can also ship our individual cuts, our beef boxes, all over the country except for
Alaska and Hawaii.
Alaska and Hawaii. So make sure you check us out at ParkerCountyBeefCompany.com. Like and subscribe to this. Guys, thank you very much for tuning in.
We're in the second largest state.
Second largest state. And we will catch you guys next week for our next episode.